Right.
Speaking of which, you went from engineer to project management. You had incredible diversity in your career. How have you taken that outside of your career? What are some of your interests and your hobbies and things that you do outside of being president of PMI Rochester and the company you run now?
Well, obviously my early life passion, I mean, I played for 38 years, played soccer,
Wow.
high level soccer, till I was 50. I also, played golf, casually, but I was reasonably decent. I'm going to try to start playing more than I'm semi-retired. I enjoy sports cars. I am an avid skier. I've been skiing since I was 12. Now that I just turned 65, I bought my season's pass at Bristol, which I have not owned a season's pass at Bristol since probably I was 30. So I just didn't have, well, I mean, back in the day when all the kids, were taking their lessons, we did have a family pass and all that junk. And, basically I work, I do interesting little engineering projects.
An engineer who loves cars. What kind of sports cars do you love? What are you driving nowadays?
My first car I ever owned, and I still do, was Austin, AUSTIN, dash Healey, HEALEY, 3000 Mark III. You can Google it.
I will be Googling it.
Okay, so 64. Okay. 1964 Austin Healey 3000 Mark III.
Where is this car now?
My garage. And I also have a 1959 MGA.
Okay.
And that's in my garage too. So MG is a 4-cylinder. The Healey is a 6-cylinder. So the Healey straddles between MG and Triumphs and Jaguars.
Okay, so you're quickly over my head, or it's out of my wheelhouse with cars, but I can tell you right now, I know quite a few car enthusiasts up here, and they would be thrilled to hear this. Mm-hmm. May I be so bold to ask for some pictures of the cars sitting in your garage? I would love to share.
If you, I've got your email here, so yes. I can, I'll send you a couple pictures. What
I think is fascinating about these interviews is that there's such a diversity of interests as well. We're not just project managers. We have this creative bubble that engages our entire lives that we bring to our projects. What is the through line that you feel that you bring to a project, that you feel you bring to every project?
Well, I think now that I've, basically I've had Ellie Heininger, and I was in government for 5.5 years in Buffalo. I had a little house in Buffalo because I had to have residency in Amherst, but okay. I was in Ironquoit for 4 years. And then Ironquoit ended in 2014 with a new supervisor. Mm-hmm. And that was fine because I wasn't going to stick around. So, back into my little private life. And the nice thing is I can pick and choose the jobs. I don't have to take on crummy work. I don't have to take on jobs like the Brighton Whole Foods that you hear about on TV.
Yes.
Okay. I know the people involved. I was asked, I said, no, there's no amount of money you could pay me to get involved. Okay. I don't need the headache.
Right.
Telling you about this car dealer, there's a place, if you want to Google it, Great Lakes Classic Cars.
Okay.
Great Lakes Classic Cars. It's Israel's friend Engels, who's also Brazilian. And we're building he owns 2 lots. In the one lot, we're going to build another building for him with 3 work bays. But if you Google that, he's got Bentleys, he's got all kinds of cars.
Wow.
Now, I have a Mazda 3 hatch 6-speed manual that he got from me in January at auction with only 13,000 miles on it. It was living in New York City up in a parking garage up near Columbus Circle.
Oh my goodness.
August to November, the car went 86 miles. So.
Oh my goodness. That was a pricey home in New York City, by the way.
What's that?
As a pricey home in New York City.
Yeah, right.
Parking
Well,
garage.
anyway, the guy had it for probably a 3-year lease or a 4-year lease, and then, but that's what he went and looked on what's coming across the auction. He says, I can get you a 16 with 13,000 miles for 16 grand. I said, perfect.
Wow.
You know, for
Wow.
and this is a Grand Touring with the heated mirrors and all the bells and whistles. And he got my daughter a Subaru Forester, so the ski bum. So
Okay.
anyway, you Google that, you'll see all these cars. So now Engels told me the other day, we got his approval with the town for his new building with the village.
Okay.
He bought an old marina out in Sodas Point. And basically, he bought this big steel building that used to have boats stored in the winter with a 160-foot long dock. So he bought a dock. And he wants to make it his like getaway place with an upper level mezzanine for living quarters, because it's a high bay building, and the lower level will have kind of the lounge and the TV and the pool table and the boats. And so he goes, yeah, well, I just sold my 48-footer or 52-footer or some big boat. Now he's got a 28-footer. But part of the deal was the people he bought it from, he said, you and your dad can park your boats there for this season and next season. That was the sweetener. You got space all the way through 21. Okay. So in a week or two, I'm going to go out there with Engels. We're going to look at it. I've got to measure up the steel, figuring, I said, if the structure is more than I can handle, I know somebody. I know a very talented architect, Randy. He can come up with really neat design. So I get to be like that traffic cop in Rome, bringing in the people that can do, and you don't have to go to the big firm and pay the big price. And they say, well, we're a one-stop shop. We're a one-stop shop. It's like, no, we'll put together a team like your husband and the guitar.
Yes.
I know where to find a drummer. I know where to find a keyboard player. I know where to find a really good female singer. Okay.
Right.
And bring these people in. And if, same thing with me pulling together a soccer team, I know where to find, guys from Macedonia and guys from Jamaica, if you're all playing at the same level, hey.
So it sounds like that's what your through line is and being that traffic cop, being able to pull in those right stakeholders, those right teams to make sure that project is a success. And also being that servant leader, knowing where your limitations are and where you're saying, okay, all right, I've got somebody else I think that can manage that and handle that.
Yeah, I'm not
going to
fake
out of my scope.
I'm not going to fake my way through it. There are firms that say, oh, we've always faked our way through it. The town approved it, Yeah, well, okay. Doesn't work.
So it's knowing what you can provide and knowing what your teams can provide. And building relationships to get there. So if you can put together a soccer team, you've got the right relationships. Put all those 11 folks on the field.
Yeah, I've done it.
Wow.
Back, what was it, the over 40 league? There were only, I think, 3 teams. So, one team wanted me to play for them. And I said, well, why don't I pull together a 4th team? So,
no, we don't want the competition.
No, they did, because it was kind of boring of always playing the same 2 other teams, Supposed to. So now it's a bigger league, but way back then I said, no, I'll start a Brighton team,
Very cool. What position did you play for soccer?
I played an outside mid, like right or left mid. I got both feet. I could also play line, wing. I played a lot of stopper. So if you're playing four defenders in a diamond, the stopper is the upper one. The sweeper is the one back by the goalie. Okay. And then you've got your 3. This is a more traditional thing. Then you got your 3 middies. You got your left, center, and right middies. And you have your striker and you have your 2 wings. The thing with the stopper is stoppers in international play originally middies because of all the running. And when you're playing pro rules, you have 15 players, 11 start, 4 subs. When you go on or when you come off, you're done. You don't come out and catch your breath. You're done. So 7 people run 90 minutes, no matter how hot or humid it is. You learn how to pace yourself and make the ball do the work.